Now let's add our emoji picker when we click on this plus button next to our message input in order to add emojis to our messages. We'll head to the message form, and up at the top we'll import a couple of things from the package Emoji Mart. We'll grab first the emoji picker and emoji index. And we want to bring in the related styles for that, for the picker, from emojimart/css/emojimart.css. Then we'll head down to our message input, and on the label prop we'll add an onClick to the button within it set to handle toggle picker. So this new function, which we'll create underneath handle key down, we'll toggle the emoji picker that we brought in. So we'll set a property on state called emoji picker. It'll be to the opposite value of emoji picker. So we'll set that within state to an initial value of false. And then we'll head back down and destructure this new emoji picker property from state within render, and we'll now show the emoji picker component conditionally based on the value of this emoji picker value in state. So we'll have our picker component with a set of emojis set to Apple, so we'll have the Apple emojis. We'll attach a class name to it of emoji picker, which we'll create. We'll give it a title value of pick your emoji, and we'll include an emoji of point up next to the title. So now let's create our emoji picker class in app.css, where we just want to set position to absolute. We'll save both of our files, and we'll click on the plus button. Now we can see our emoji picker component. So we have a big set of emojis to pick from. We have our title of pick your emoji, and these are all of the Apple emojis. You can pick another set if you like, but we'll stick with Apple. And we'll add another prop to the picker component called onSelect. This will allow us to add a new emoji to the message that we're adding. So that'll reference a new function called handle add emoji. It'll take the emoji that we're selecting from the emoji picker, and within the function we'll first create a variable called oldMessage, which will reference the message value in state, and we'll create a new message variable which will execute a function called :Unicode. We'll take within template literals the old message, interpolate the old message value, and put a space at the beginning of it and in between our next value, which will interpolate of emoji.colons. So we're referencing a colons property on the emoji object that we're passing to this function. We're going to set the state. We'll set the message property to our new message value and close the emoji picker by setting emoji picker to false. And now I'm going to paste in the code for the :Unicode function. It basically takes our message and converts that emoji.colons value to a Unicode using the emoji index tool that we imported. So you can copy the code as you see it here, or get it in the final code attached to this video. And now when we save all the changes we made and we try adding a message like hello and selecting an emoji, we can see it show up within our input, and when we click on add reply we can see it's added to the channel that we specified. Now you'll notice that if we select an emoji, we don't have the input focused after we do so. So we want to fix that, to focus the input again after we select an emoji, by heading down to our input once again, and we'll put a ref on it which once again will include an inline function, will pass through this node value and set it equal to this message input ref value, which we're putting on our class. So now we can reference it and use it to focus our input. So within handle add emoji, we're going to add a set timeout, where within the body of the set timeout we're going to call this.messageInputRef.focus to focus the input after 0 milliseconds so that it runs immediately after our set state. Then on the label, for the button that we supplied to the label prop of our input, we're going to change the icon value to a ternary. If emoji picker's set to true, we're going to give it an icon of close, otherwise an icon of add. And for the content prop, we'll set up a similar ternary where if emoji picker is set to true, it'll have the text of close or the text of null if it's false. We'll save our file once again. We'll head back to our app and see how this works now. We'll toggle the emoji picker. We'll select an emoji. We see our close text. And now our input is refocused after adding an emoji, so we can add more text without having to click on the input. And of course we can add a reply as usual.